Greetings. This presentation is intended to provide the public with information related to the proposed Monroe County Department of Transportation improvements of County Road 6, Salt Road in the town of Penfield, between intersections with Atlantic Avenue at the south end of the project and Plank Road at the north. This brief presentation will walk through the planning process, design decisions, and what the public can expect from the process. Contact information will be presented at the conclusion should you wish to provide input or have questions on any of the material presented. The success of any project is only achieved through the cooperation of all members of a team. The team for this project is a collection of public and private entities all working towards the same goal: a safe, maintainable highway corridor which balances public need with private property rights. This highway construction project is sponsored and fully funded by the Monroe County Department of Transportation. The county selected Erdman Anthony as a design consultant, with additional design information provided by subconsultants. Later in the process, once plans are finalized, the county's contractor will be selected by a competitive bidding process. In advance of the highway contract, work will be completed by utility companies and/or their contractors to remove conflicts. Once the project was awarded to Erdman Anthony, we began the process of collecting important data, including surveys of the topographic features, ownership, and highway use information. Following that, soils, traffic patterns, pavement sections, and drainage flows were analyzed. From there, pertinent information was compiled into a design report delivered to the county in 2020. This report identified pavement deficiencies, including a deteriorating surface nearing the end of its useful life, and cross slopes not in conformance with current design standards. Shoulders were observed to be inadequate. Previous Monroe County DOT projects to the north and south of this section provide paved shoulders for safe passage of pedestrians and cyclists. The existing narrow gravel shoulders at this portion of Salt Road do not offer the same protection. Additionally, the lack of paved shoulders led to accelerated pavement deterioration in the travel lanes. Stormwater deficiencies were also noted. Once the county reviewed and agreed on recommendations, we began the process to design plans. These plans include utility relocations, mitigation of stormwater runoff, widened shoulders, and improvements to the quality, geometry, and rideability of the highway. The existing roadway section has travel lanes between 10 and 11 feet wide. Shoulders are only paved in very limited areas. Currently, gravel shoulders extend for a few feet outside the travel lanes. The primary goal of this project is to provide defect-free 11-foot travel lanes with 5-foot wide paved shoulders in both north and southbound directions. This will widen the existing pavement by 10 feet or more. In order to widen, existing roadside features will be altered by using one of 3 edge treatments: addition of embankment material to widen the slope, ditching, or by grading gentle swales. Embankments, or adding fill along the outside of the road, will be selected for locations where shoulders are higher than the adjacent terrain. Fill will be graded to provide slopes as gentle as practicable to aid in maintenance. Generally, where highway embankments will be installed, slopes post-construction will be flatter than what currently exists. In areas where either from the roadway or surrounding land large volumes of stormwater are anticipated, roadside ditches will be constructed. Ditches, in most cases, will be used in areas where they currently exist. Where possible, slopes will be graded flatter than they are now. Mainly, ditches will be adjacent to agricultural or vacant property. In limited residential lawns where they are planned, ditches will have the flattest available slopes. The edge treatment predominantly used in lawns will be the construction of a gentle swale. The shallow depth and flat slopes will allow water to efficiently flow away from the highway while providing a surface that is designed to be easily traversed by a lawn mower. In many areas where swales are employed, stormwater inlets and piping will also be installed to meet New York State DEC requirements to reduce stormwater runoff. There are some particularly difficult challenges at the north end of the project that require a specialized treatment. In particular, the area highlighted in yellow encompasses the 4 properties south of the fire hall. Widening of the highway in this area puts the outside of the new shoulder over the drainage ditch running next to the road. This ditch does not provide positive drainage and in places holds over 1 foot of stagnant water most of the year. Government regulations, utility owner needs, and desire to minimize impacts to private property exclude ditch relocation as a viable option. In order to maintain flows, limit disturbance, and protect from hazards of standing water, a covered waterway created from the installation of parallel sheet pile walls with a concrete cover slab were advanced as the preferred treatment. Steel panels will be vibrated into the soil to a sufficient distance to support both the concrete slab over the channel and the soil on both sides. The top of the slab will be buried, making the structure mostly invisible to the traveling public. Construction of the covered waterway will require the addition of underground water and gas mains and relocation of services. Now that we've covered what we intend to do, we'd like to give an overview of how we plan on meeting these goals. In general, the construction phase will involve acquiring necessary rights, relocating existing utilities, and constructing the permanent improvements while maintaining safe and efficient passage through the corridor. Care has been taken to design improvements which reduce impact to neighboring properties to the full extent possible. Where it could not be avoided, Monroe County will be in contact with property owners to obtain necessary rights to ensure the success of the project. Property owners, where easements are needed, will be contacted by a representative from the Monroe County Real Estate Department who will detail the process and assure all affected persons will receive full compensation and all benefits to which they are entitled. In most cases, a simple written agreement outlining expectations between Monroe County and private property owners will be all that is needed. Where minor grade changes outside the existing highway limits will benefit solely the adjacent property owner's ability to maintain their lawns and better access their property, the county will seek a grading release. This release will allow the contractor limited access to provide longer slope transitions, plant turf, and reestablish driveways. Work proposed under grading releases is not integral to the project and are a courtesy to our neighbors. There will be no payment due in these areas. Where areas outside the highway boundary is needed for construction of improvements and their future maintenance, either temporary or permanent easements will be acquired. Since these operations will change the general nature of the land and somewhat limit use, compensation will be made to the property owners. In most cases, these are areas that are already encumbered by utility easements for underground and gas and water utilities, making use of land which is currently restricted. Temporary easements are used where additional room is needed to improve safety and efficiency of construction operations. Upon completion of the work, these areas will look and function similar to pre-construction conditions. In locations where infrastructure facilities such as drainage ditches, field inlets, pipes, or the covered waterway fall on private property, the county will acquire a permanent easement to ensure ability to inspect and maintain improvements in the future. Generally, throughout the project corridor, Monroe County Water Authority owns and operates a water main on the west side of Salt Road, and Rochester Gas and Electric has a gas main on the east side. Temporary disruption may occur to individual gas or water services in isolated locations. Homeowners will be notified in advance of any loss of service. At the north end of the project, in the covered waterway section, more extensive work will be needed to relocate and build new mains. Homeowners in this area may be subject to some additional limited duration outages as work in this area is complex and requires additional testing. Project representatives will provide special coordination with affected properties in this area to ensure as much notice as possible prior to utility disruption. Utility work may begin as early as late summer of 2021 and should be completed by the start of roadway construction. Unfortunately, for all involved, there are some unavoidable realities that come with construction. Some things to keep in mind: construction work is noisy. Construction will be performed during daylight hours only and within the town's noise ordinance. Construction is dusty. Contractors will be required to use on-site water trucks and sweepers to reduce the amount of airborne particulate, but no method can provide complete control. Pedestrians and motorists should be prepared to share the road with large machines. Lane shifts and lane closures will be used to separate construction work from the traveling public. Flaggers, cones, barrels, and signs will be used to safely direct the public. Less frequently, properties may experience temporary access modification to allow construction crews to complete the work. Residents should plan to add additional time into their daily routine when work such as shoulder widening, milling, and paving are occurring in front of their homes. As discussed previously, some disruption to utilities may be necessary and will come with advance notice. Lastly, some operations require vibration. These activities will be monitored to ensure work is kept at safe levels. Current scheduling has utility work beginning in late 2021 and will be completed in early 2022. Major roadway work will start in early spring of 2022 and is anticipated the newly widened and paved roadway will be completed in fall of the same year. We appreciate your interest in this important project. Hopefully, we were able to provide the essential information that outlined how the project was developed, described key components, and demonstrated expectations and anticipated schedules. If there were any questions left unanswered or you would like to provide feedback, we encourage you to contact Monroe County DOT's project manager, Herdzik. In order to ensure public input can be addressed in the plan sets, comments should be submitted by no later than June 25th of this year.